Yeah, today discussion is maybe this is why people don't show today. Today is not talk about flow, it's talk about the martial part of the martial arts. So first I want you discuss together, I want your guys talk a little bit what your vision about the martial and the martial art. Because most of the time we talk more about the art and the martial art. And today I want you go for the another direction, the martial part from the martial arts. Yeah.
Military fighting to win the war.
Yeah.
That's the part.
Yeah.
The warrior
So
part.
yeah, we agree with this. Yeah, it's more war. Yeah, that here. Because I think in the martial arts for us, is you can go like a spectrum. Yeah, it's more like rainbow. Have the color, but you don't see clear when change to another color. You can see have the colors, but you don't know exactly where it's changed because it's like slowly change. So this I think is important that talk today for we recognize when we change for the next color. So you can go for the spectrum that side, like the war, go to the war, kill, life and death, and you go to all the spectrum to the another point when it's like peace, love, freedom, all these things, the enlightenment, you go for that spectrum. But always the part for the same rainbow, you need all this for you when you talk about the martial arts. So maybe today we can try see where stop the martial when you start the next step and what can be the next one. And what your guys thinking?
Yeah. Well, just one question. You said it's a spectrum from one end to the other,
Yeah.
but can't you have both at the same time?
No, I think our goal is have all. You say like the rainbow, you need have all. I think it's not, but you can practice one more. Now you can focus on one part, but still in that part is you have all that inside. So don't become limited.
Yeah, it's not black or white.
Yeah.
It's not all or nothing.
Yeah. So I think this is why it's important we understand that extreme, for the war. Yeah. Because I think, I never been in the war before, and your guys not too. But for many centuries, a lot of martial artists or the war, that part for the martial is being the war a long time. Or even for samurais, all these people go really, is about life or death.
Yeah.
I think that may define what more is the martial part. So even if you don't go, never be in the war, but I think you need to learn, understanding what this means. I think because when you go to the war, it's not more philosophy, it's something real. Sometimes we in the situation when you need to kill the guy or the guy can kill you. You're that extreme. And maybe that feeling just when you're there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for us, because have that opportunity to go in that situation, we can use your feeling and imagination to try understand something. Because what happened when you go to the war and have that situation when you need kill or die, you start learn something and start make sense for you. So your perception about life and death start change. This is the power we can give to the martial artists. When you start to understand that concept about life and death can change the way you see things, can change the way you see life, can change the way you see martial arts too. Because now you start understanding better. But I think, of course, when you're in the real war, maybe force you to understand because you need to see clear. But I think it's possible you start understand even if you not go there, if you start thinking about and how you feel. So I think one good way to do it is what you think about death. Because I think a lot of people talk at this. No, I'm ready to die in the mat, and I ready to die in the ring and the cage, and I prepare for this. People tell this many times. We can see people say this, and maybe we can say this too. No, I'm ready for this. But I think it's important if you ask you now, at that moment, what happened if you die now? You prepare for dying now? Maybe you say, I'm prepared for dying in the cage, in the ring, but you prepare for dying now? Because if you're not prepared for dying now in that exact moment, why you think you prepared to die there? Why you think you prepared to die in the war? No, you don't know when you go die. That's the reality. You don't know when you go die. So I think understanding this, what's that mean for you, I think it's important for us and the martial arts perspective. And we need to understand a little bit that spectrum of the thing, So when you start thinking about you ready to die now? If you die today, what happened?
I hope you guys would be sad.
I want your geese.
You got a brand new order.
You see, we have, when you think this, we have a lot of things you need to know. I want you people be mad or make people be happy. I want your geese. So you have a lot of things you don't finish yet. We're not ready to die because you don't finish that kind of, how will you deal with this? How my family deal with this? So you have a lot of concern. So if you have a lot of concern, what happened the next if I die? This meaning you're not prepared to die. It's not right or wrong, but you're not prepared to die. And maybe it's better you go for another direction. Okay, what's life mean for me? And maybe you go for that direction. What life mean for you? What's more important for me? If I'm not prepared to die, what I need to do for I feel prepared for die, Because be prepared to die is when you don't have any concern about this. You don't have any fear. Doesn't mean you never have fear to cross the street. You don't look the side. That fear, biological fear, you need to have. But the fear of die, the fear of finish and everything, that thing you can learn from martial art. Maybe not so much today because you don't go to war anymore. But you can start understanding psychological thinking and how this meaning for you. And maybe when you start understanding the meaning of that, you understand better the meaning of life. And maybe you can use better your life. And if you're more open to live better your life, all your perspective about martial arts start change. The way you train start change. Yeah? Because I think like the thin area between war, the next one I think is become self-defense. Yeah? Are you prepared to die and live, life or death? You need to understand this. And I think if you go deep this, I think you need to take time for yourself, think about this, take one time for you before sleep or take a time in day and start thinking about this, what this means for you. And maybe if you start to understand this, the meaning of all martial arts start change for you. Because one thing happened when you go for the martial arts, when you think, it's martial arts, it's about war. But if you don't understand that area, die, death and life, you cannot say you go for that direction. You never touch that spectrum because you're never thinking about what is that feeling. But when you start sparring, you still inside react like this. If the guy do a little bit more hard, you do a little bit more hard. The guy do a little bit more, you do more and more. And what happened in the end? And the end is the war. You go for that spectrum again, okay? First time, no, I need to defend myself. And the guy go more hard, you go more hard. Coming the point when now I need to kill the guy or the guy try to kill me. It is the spectrum, So this I think is important. You see the difference between war, self-defense, sport, art. I think see the difference between all these things. So when you're training, you clear what you do at that moment. So this is why I think it's important to understand the war perspective, to understand when you're sparring, if you're there or not. If your mind go move you to that direction. If your mind think you are in the war. If your mind think you are in the self-defense. If your mind think you are in the sport. If your mind think you are in the art part. So you need to recognize where your mind, I think this is why it's important you talk about the war part. For you see, you want your mind to be in that area because it's not right or wrong. Like I say, we look for all the spectrum. You need to be able to deal for all these things. But your mind can focus in one area for time. and where you want to spend more your energy to do that way. Now you can talk like sometimes like the Krav Maga, people say, oh, it's more real, it's more like for war. So the way he's trained is different, it's more like how I can hurt the guy, how I can do this, so it's changed a different way to do it.